Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update from Monday, July the 27th, 2015. Yesterday's observance of the Jewish fast day of Teisha Bader was marred by violent riots on Jerusalem's Temple Mount. Dozens of masked young Palestinians had set up barricades at the holy site and threw rocks and firebombs at police officers as well as visitors. Teisha B'Av mourns the destruction of the first and second temples, and thousands of Jewish visitors made their way to the Western Wall yesterday, which surrounds the area where the temples once stood. Israel's President Reuven Rivlin condemned the attacks. He said the acts of violence and terrorism committed, especially today, against worshippers at holy sites must be condemned unequivocally. Israeli police were able to ultimately secure the area, pushing the rioters back into the Al-Aqsa Mosque through non-lethal means. 4 Israeli police officers were lightly injured in the confrontations. American and Israeli officials this weekend rejected links made by the Wall Street Journal on Friday regarding the possible release of convicted Israeli spy Jonathan Pollard and the nuclear deal with Iran. The Journal reported that the U.S. administration is preparing to release Pollard and that some U.S. officials, quote, hope the move will smooth relations with Israel in the wake of the Iran deal. Pollard is up for parole consideration on November the 21st of this year. However, there has been no plan announced to release Pollard at this time, and any suggestions that the Iran deal opened the door to a possible release have been sharply dismissed as false. National Security Council spokesperson Alistair Baskey said Mr. Pollard's status will be determined by the United States Parole Commission according to standard procedures. He added there is absolutely zero linkage between Mr. Pollard's status and foreign policy considerations. And U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch, speaking at the Aspen Security Forum on Saturday, also rejected any connection between Pollard being up for parole and the Iran deal. Former Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Michael Oren, said he hoped for Pollard's release, but likewise rejected any link to the deal. Oren said certainly there is no connection between Pollard's release, which is a matter of mercy and justice, and the bad deal with Iran, which is a security and existential matter. The Anti-Defamation League today strongly criticized former Arkansas governor and current Republican candidate for the presidential nomination, Mike Huckabee, for statements in which Governor Huckabee suggested that President Obama is, quote, leading Israel to the door of the oven in the nuclear agreement with Iran. Huckabee had made the remarks in an interview with Breitbart News on Saturday. New ADL National Director Jonathan A. Greenblatt called Huckabee's comments completely out of line and unacceptable. He said to hear Mr. Huckabee invoke the Holocaust when America is Israel's greatest ally and when Israel is a strong nation capable of defending itself is disheartening. Greenblatt noted the great financial support, including millions of dollars for Iron Dome, that the president has signed off on to help protect the lives of Israelis. He said, with the very serious debate on the Iran deal taking place over the next 5 weeks in Congress, the ADL has called on all sides to debate responsibly and civilly, and that should include presidential candidates as well. The Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations released a statement Friday on the recent meeting held between U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and conference leaders on the Iran nuclear agreement. They said that Kerry addressed a wide range of concerns they raised about potential Iranian threats to the U.S. and to Israel, and their concerns regarding Iran's violation of human rights, its ballistic missile development program, ongoing threats against Israel, and increasing support for terrorist organizations. The conference said Kerry expressed the commitment of the U.S. that Iran would not become a nuclear state and, quote, how the agreement would seek to achieve this end. Meanwhile, 2 more rallies protesting the deal with Iran took place yesterday. Stop Iran rallies were held at the Federal Building in Los Angeles and at Balboa Park in San Diego. And this Thursday, a Stop Iran rally will take place in Winnipeg, Canada. And you can watch the entire Stop Iran rally held in Times Square last week, highlights and interviews as well, on JBS's YouTube channel or by going to the website jbstv.org. And looking now at our programming for tonight, Monday, July the 27th. At 7 o'clock, the wisdom of Dr. Ruth Westheimer. At 7:30, Chairman of Israel's Yesh Atid party, Yair Lapid, talks about his spiritual journey into politics, being Israel's former finance minister, and his views on religion and state in Israel, on The Voice of Israel from Jerusalem. Then at 8 o'clock, German UN Ambassador Harold Braun, Israeli UN Ambassador Ron Persor, German Consul General Britta Wagner, and Israeli Consul General Ido Aharoni celebrate 50 years of German-Israeli diplomatic relations at a recent American Jewish Committee event at the Museum of Jewish Heritage in New York City. And at 9 o'clock, the president of Maccabi USA, Ron Karner, talks about past Maccabi games and previews the 2015 games in Berlin, which open Tuesday tomorrow. And JBS will bring you live coverage of the opening Maccabi Games ceremony from Berlin tomorrow, beginning at 2 p.m. Eastern. And later tonight at 10 o'clock, the films of Mel Brooks are discussed by Columbia University professor Jeremy Dauber at New York's 92nd Street Y. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, July the 27th, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader.